Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another weather forecast, and we're gonna be having a huge video on Hurricane Zeta. Zeta has just made landfall a few hours ago on the southeastern Louisiana coast here, and is continuing to advance inland. It did make landfall as a 110-mile-an-hour Category 2, so it was a lot stronger. Let's just say that before than we anticipated. So it actually made landfall almost as a major hurricane, but it sticked as a Category 2 at 110 miles an hour. And that's going to really increase the winds for inland areas as far as the Carolinas. So we're not only going to be talking about the Gulf Coast, we're going to be talking about as well much of the video inland area as far as the Carolinas. Tropical storm warnings have been issued all the way from the Gulf Coast to areas in the Tennessee and North Carolina border. I'm actually under tropical storm warning now, and I'm going to get some extreme conditions early tomorrow morning in the 5 a.m., 6 a.m. time period, and I'm going to try to get some coverage for you guys. I'm going to try to get some footage, so I'm going to try to have an alarm for like 5 or 4 a.m. to try to get that footage for you guys. It's going to be really just extremely crazy. But also, throughout the video, we're going to be talking about areas like the storm surge. We're going to be talking about power outages, the rain, flooding, all that. But without further ado, let's get in the video. So here, looking at the radar, I do see there it is, really getting far inland. It's almost near that New Orleans area. It's about to go over New Orleans, so New Orleans getting some really nasty impacts, especially areas northeast of that low pressure system right now, which is including areas of the Mississippi coast and areas northeast of Louisiana there. But New Orleans is getting some extreme conditions right now. As of now, they're getting 65 miles an hour, which based on the Weather Channel, they're getting 65 miles an hour right now. It's about to go straight over New Orleans, downtown New Orleans. There's that low pressure right there. It's going to go just to the west of New Orleans, but getting really big, harsh impacts for areas like Hattiesburg, harsh impacts for areas like Gulfport and the coast of Mississippi there. It's going to be just quite the large and really extreme conditions there, where we have those hurricane warnings. Areas like Gulfport and the Mississippi coast are getting around 40 to 50 miles an hour right now, but that will obviously increase. But areas like in the into the kind of the far eastern part of Louisiana, they're getting over 100-mile-an-hour winds. But we're gonna be seeing some catastrophic winds here. It's gonna bring some really big and extreme impacts, especially with the wet soil. It's obviously gonna make the probability for power outages and downed trees very, very likely, not only for areas in the Gulf Coast, but all the way up into the Georgia area, the Carolinas, where we have a lot of trees. That's going to really increase the possibility for power outages. There's that low pressure there it is, going straight over the downtown New Orleans areas as we speak. It did have a small little eye there, but I mean, it looked very organized. You can very well see there's the outflow, and then there's the outflow as well, and then there's the inflow feeding that storm. There's that low pressure. You can really well see you can kind of see the counterclockwise spin really clearly. So you're getting all that flow right there, all that flow, and it's wrapping around the outflow, and then you really got the low pressure obviously right there now, making landfall for portions of eastern Louisiana, going straight over New Orleans. I mean, when I mean it's going right over downtown New Orleans, I mean that low pressure is basically going straight over downtown New Orleans. But I mean, this is bringing cloud cover as far as Oklahoma. This is bringing cloud cover as far as Kansas. It's bringing cloud cover as far as Virginia. I mean, it is a monster and a very large storm, especially considered as a Category 2. It's very large and pretty significant for its size. I do see storm surge has gone up, and we're seeing life-threatening storm surge with 7 to 11 foot storm surge for portions of the Mississippi coast. This is exactly what we saw with Katrina. Katrina is basically doing the track where obviously it goes straight near New Orleans, and the worst storm surge is going to be for the areas northeast of that low pressure, which means that northeastern quadrant. And that's exactly what's going to be happening here. The worst storm surge will be for Mississippi, and that's exactly what happened with Katrina. They found that 30-foot storm surge in Mississippi, not Louisiana. New Orleans, though, 3 to 5 foot storm surge expected there. Areas near where it actually made landfall near Grand Isle. That's where we have 6 to 9 foot storm surge. 6 to 9 foot storm surge for the western coast of Mississippi. For Alabama, and all of the Mississippi coast is seeing 7 to 11 foot storm surge. Areas near Morgan City, 4 to 6 foot storm surge. All the way near Mobile In Pensacola, going to be seeing over 3 feet of storm surge. And all the way up to Cedar Key and Panama City, we're seeing 1 to 3 foot storm surge. So we're seeing unsurvivable storm surge in these areas right here. It's unsurvivable because not too many people are over 7 feet. Obviously, that's very rare to see giants that tall over 7 feet. And what are the chances they're actually in the areas where we have the worst storm surge? But you do see there you got the hurricane warnings in the red. But we're going to be looking at this more detailed. But we're going to be looking at the timing. It made landfall at around 5 p.m., really 4 p.m. And there it is. It continued to say the tropical storm there. But it will be post-tropical by the time that tomorrow afternoon comes by. But tonight, it's going to be fully tropical. And that's going to bring some big impacts for me. So I'm probably going to sleep in the basement just in case, because obviously tropical storms can spawn up tornadoes, and there obviously is a tornado risk. But look at this tropical storm warnings all the way from Louisiana to portions of Virginia. You don't really see tropical storm warnings in southern Virginia, not the coast Virginia, but like literally in the mountains of Virginia. You don't usually see tropical storm warnings that often. You don't usually see tropical storm warnings this far inland at all. I mean, this is extremely uncommon to see tropical storm warnings this late in the season to go all the way up into far inland areas like Virginia near Danville. I mean, that is not close to where this makes landfall at all. And you think, oh, it's only going to be a category 2, so it's going to rapidly weaken, and you're going to see the tropical storm warnings kind of stop at Georgia. Oh, no, it's going to go all the way up into Virginia. I'm going to even bring tropical storm gusts all the way up into the northeast area. But here are the hurricane warnings as of an hour ago. Biloxi, New Orleans, Grand Isle. If you're in the purple, you're in a hurricane warning. You shouldn't even be watching this video if you're in a hurricane warning, because you should be kind of in your basement or something, because this has made landfall. So there should be a reason you're online right now. Areas like Macomb, Laurel, Pensacola, Enterprise, Atlanta, Georgia, obviously my house right here, Birmingham, Montgomery, Atlanta, Greenville, Asheville, Charlotte, and Danville. You guys are very large cities that are under the tropical storm warning. They stretch for millions of people there across the metro Atlanta area, the metro Montgomery area, Charlotte, Asheville, Greenville, and you're including a lot of areas that are under mountains. These areas have a ton of mountains, and that's exactly where we have. It's exactly why the power outage percentage is so high. The tropical storm wind probabilities is going from a 90 to 100% chance all the way from New Orleans, Mobile, past southern Montgomery, or past southern Alabama, all the way up into the metro Atlanta area. So all the way up into the Atlanta area, we have a 90 to 100% chance for tropical storm winds. That's crazy there. And that's for Thursday early a.m. So it's going to be an overnight threat like I did say. I have to wake up like at 4 or 5 a.m. because I'm north of Atlanta. I'm actually in an 80% chance. I'm in the 80% chance up here. That's kind of where I am. That's second A. That's where I kind of live. I'm in the 80% chance. So we'll arrive kind of around around 6, 7 a.m., 4 a.m., that 4 to 7 a.m. time frame. But we got big cities like New Orleans, Mobile, Montgomery, all the way up to Atlanta. It's going to be like a straight linear line of big cities. I know it's not really linear, but they kind of got like so straight areas. It's just big cities, and then obviously you got Asheville right there. Then you got Danville right there. So it's continued to be a line of effects there of tropical storm winds. Like I just say, power outages is going to be widespread across areas like New Orleans, Mobile, Montgomery, Atlanta, Asheville, and it's all in a line there. It's going to be just a path of big cities are going to get impacted. I mean, it's going to be crazy. We have also a big city in northern Georgia where I live, Gainesville. That's also very large. Like 300,000 people live there. One of the biggest cities in northern Georgia. But it's going to be widespread, not just a coastal threat. I mean, it's going to go as far, guys, as Asheville, where we have widespread power outages. Not just power outages in general, but widespread. And school got canceled for tomorrow, so I will be online tomorrow if there's actually power. But we also have likely power outages in the red. That's including as far as Delaware, guys. Delaware. All the way to Delaware. I mean, that's like over 1,000 miles away from where it makes landfall. And it's not under the possible. It's under the likely. Raleigh as well. Asheville, you're right on the border. I mean, it's just really crazy. Augusta. you guys are in the possible. Columbia, all the way up to New Jersey, we have a chance for power outages. This is going to be really widespread effects, not just the coast. So let's check out the NAM 3-kilometer model. That's going to be showing kind of the heavy rain there. You do see that upper northeastern quadrant going to bring some really big flooding threats there. And there's that low pressure going up into this portion of the southeast here. And this is also going to be with the portions of as well Billy. So it's just to be one big rainmaker later this week for a portion of the northeast here. Let's go check out now the NAM 12-kilometer here. You see as well showing the really intense rainfall for those areas. HRRR. This is actually fully reloaded. This is not fully reloaded yet. The WRF, AWRF. I mean, they're all showing a ton of rain. It's not going to be an impressive amount of rain, but it will be pretty significant to flash flooding outcomes. I do see we're going to be seeing just very little rain, but obviously we're going to be seeing a decent amount of rain for areas in the mountainous areas over up to around 4 inches of rain. This is not 4 inches of rain in a week's time period. This is 4 inches to 4+ inches of rain within a 12-hour period, which is considered flash flooding and will cause streams to go up, and maybe not lakes, maybe not ponds, but definitely streams, some rivers as well. Probably rivers. I mean, it really just depends, but lakes, ponds, you guys should, depending on if you're already at flood risk or flood level, then it really just depends. So here's looking at the 10-meter wind gusts, and as you do see, we're already seeing 128-mile wind gusts expected for areas near the Grand Isle area. Like I said, this is not a small little hurricane like expected. This is a big time Category 2, really strong Category 2, going straight over New Orleans area. Good thing is it's not making landfall west of New Orleans, because if not, New Orleans would have got the worst of it. New Orleans is basically getting spared from it, even though it's making a direct impact and direct landfall and going straight over the city. The worst of it will be obviously like Katrina happened, where it's going to be eastern swamp areas of Louisiana and the Mississippi coast there. Next 4 hours, going to start seeing winds up to 112-mile-an-hour gusts for portions of Mississippi the next 4 to 5 hours. And that's going to start moving really far inland in the next 7 hours. So let's now get outside of Louisiana. Let's check out the general Alabama, Mississippi here, so you can kind of see these general areas here. So in the next 7 hours, we're going to see gusts up to 73 miles an hour for portions of southern Alabama. We're going to be seeing gusts up to 60 to 50 miles an hour for portions of Pensacola in the next 10 hours. We're going to start seeing gusts up to 64 miles an hour between Birmingham and Montgomery. And then the gusts for Georgia start to really go up here. Let's now go merge into Georgia. If we can actually find it. There we go. Merge into Georgia now. There you can kind of see, I'm actually at where the 45 is. That's where I live. Where the 45, that's kind of where I generally live in Hall County. 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Going to see gusts up to 69-mile-an-hour gusts to 70. Like I said, this is going to be a big-time inland threat as well. And then I do see I'm at 50-mile-an-hour gusts in the next 14 hours there. So early tomorrow morning, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And then it just cuts off there. It just really just cuts off right at Georgia as it's trying to reload there. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will try to get some coverage on this obviously tomorrow morning. I'm hoping the coverage will be good. I don't have really a waterproof camera, like professional camera, but I can try to use my phone or something like that. Obviously, and I'm going to try to wake up really early tomorrow morning, technically, like around 4 a.m., 5 a.m., when it really gets really bad, where the winds are at its worst, where the rain's at its worst. They already have it at 41 miles an hour for 6 a.m., but that is expected to increase as the storm has gone stronger than expected here, so that should go up here. But we did see landfall, of course, for areas near Huma, Louisiana, so obviously stay safe and see you guys.